Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here on the show, and I'm here to, talk about some news. We're gonna start some baseball. So, the hashtag Astros are interested in Orioles first baseman / outfielder Ryan O'Hearn. Per Robert Murray on the Baseball Insider's live stream. Yeah, I think a lot of people are probably going to want Ryan O'Hearn at the deadline. In 284 this year with above 800 OPS. And Astros need some offense, man. So, I can definitely see them go get Ryan O'Hearn. So, per Jim Bowden, the Red Sox, Yankees, Blue Jays, Phillies, and Mariners are speed dialing the Minnesota Twins, end quote, at an annoying level, with continued interest in starting pitcher Joe Ryan, utility man Willie Castro, outfielder Harrison Bader, and, end quote, basically their entire bullpen. This is an incredible tweet. I can see the Twins trading Willie Castro, Harrison Bader, and some bullpen guys, but I don't think they're going to trade Joe Ryan. It would take an incredible trade package. So the following teams have expressed interest in St. Louis Cardinals right-handed pitcher Ryan Helsley. Yankees, Mets, Dodgers, Phillies, Rangers, Blue Jays have expressed interest. I mean, Clase is not an option anymore. Johan Duran would cost probably too much, so you know what? Dodgers should go get Ryan Helsley. Angels outfielders Taylor Ward and Joe Adele are generating, in quotes, significant trade interest per Ken Rosenthal. I could see them trading maybe Taylor Ward. I don't think they would trade Joe Adele. Trading Joe Adele wouldn't make any sense. But I feel like Taylor Ward gets trade interest every year and he doesn't get traded, so I don't think it's going to be anything any different here. Athletics third baseman / outfielder Miguel Andujar is generating trade interest from multiple teams, hitting 290 this year. Maybe somebody could take him, because he's having a good year hitting 290 over there in Oakland. Or, excuse me, just the Athletics. The hashtag Astros have discussed third baseman Nolan Arenado in trade talks with the St. Louis Cardinals. Morosi notes no deal as close as of this morning. And Arenado isn't what he used to be, man. The Tigers, Phillies, Rangers have contacted the Pirates about right-handed pitcher David Bednar. Hawes notes that Pittsburgh is asking for a minimum in the organization's top 5 prospect. So he's basically not going to get moved. Well, I mean, he can. He's blown 0 saves and the contract goes on next year. We'll see. Stephen Kwan is generating, in quote, a ton of trade interest per Ken Rosenthal. Rosenthal notes the Dodgers, Blue Jays, Phillies, and Padres are believed to be among the teams in the mix for Stephen Kwan. For Stephen, hit the Kwan. The Brewers are among the teams interested in Ryan O'Hearn. The White Sox believe they would look ridiculous accepting a mid-tier prospect for Luis Robert Jr. And are saying if they don't land at least one of an acquiring organization's top 10 prospects in a deal, they will keep Robert and pick up his $20 million club option. I just feel like his market isn't really, great, and I don't think anything's going to change that. I mean, he's only 27, and he's a great fielder, and he can have great power, so I guess it's valid. I don't think you want to toss him away just for a shitty-ass prospect. Does he have the best year? No, but I don't think you want to just trade him for a shitty-ass prospect. The Dodgers are calling up Alex Freeland, top-ranked infielder, so that's all from MLB Deadline News. Let's get to Underdog MLB. Dylan Cease is in quote at the top of the Astros wish list, also considering Willie Castro, Jesus Sanchez, and Jake McCarthy. Rich Hill DFA by the Royals. Oh no, anyways. The biggest names likely to be traded at the deadline. Stephen Kwan. Dylan Cease, Eugenio Suarez, Zach Gallen, Merrill Kelly, Charlie Morton, Luis Robert Jr. Biggest names, Charlie Morton. But, I mean, this is John Heyman, so take it with a grain of salt, but I think Ryan Helsley should be a name mentioned here for sure. So I think he's definitely getting traded. Like I said, with the teams interested. So, it's all the MLB to talk about, so let's get into some NASCAR news. So, Bob Parker said typically penalties come out on Tuesday, so would expect something today, but sometimes it takes until Wednesday on a ruling on Austin Hill. I don't know. Typically suspensions and other penalties aren't released until Tuesday or Wednesday. So they always wait till late. I mean, I thought they would issue it today, but might not. I mean, it shouldn't take that long, honestly. Kevin Harvick gave his thoughts. When you know it's blatant, just park them. And people will defend Austin Hill. I mean, Kevin Harvick has all the room to talk. He's a NASCAR champion. But people will defend Austin Hillbilly. I mean, he used his car as a weapon. So, Cup teams will use the tires they haven't used before. When they get to Iowa, they have a construction change with the goal of more margin for carcass durability compared to what they had last year. Busch Briscoe the tire test. Oh yeah, we'll see about that, man. More durability? I feel like if anything, we need less durability because the fall-off rating is already so little. I don't think we need more durability. Schedule for this weekend. Friday, 3:30 ARCA practice and qualifying, 7 on FS1 the ARCA race. Saturday, 11 on the CW Epic Xfinity practice qualifying, 1:30 True TV Cup practice qualifying, 4 on the CW pre-race, 4:30 the Xfinity race at Iowa. Sunday, 3 on USA pre-race, 3:30 on USA the Cup race, 71, 40, 140 stage lengths. Xfinity is 60, 60, 130. Friday through Sunday, it's in the 70s with a 10% chance of rain. So it's going to be in the 70s with only 10% chance of rain. So Stuart Friesen had a terrible crash last night. I believe he was in a dirt modified. He suffered a broken pelvis and a broken leg last night. He will need surgery. His vitals are stable. Man, it was a horrible crash if you saw it on social media. It was terrible. And he can't get a playoff waiver because, he has a broken leg and a broken pelvis. They ain't going to heal up in a month. The Truck Series playoffs start August 30th. Probably shouldn't be running outside of a Truck Series while the season's going on. But they ain't healing up in a month. And I don't think their focus right now is, who's going to drive this truck going forward for the rest of the year. I don't think that's their thought process right now. But yeah, that's all the NASCAR news right. So, The Rock, let's get some wrestling, believes that the final boss is the greatest heel pro wrestling has ever seen. Oh boy, The Rock glazing himself. Look like the final boss, but I'm not going glazing. Triple H praises the women's division and how they're better than the men in certain aspects. Damn, Triple H just shit on the men's division right here. So VW Unreal, CM Punk and John Cena were initially the names pitched to win the 2025 Royal Rumble. Ultimately, the move went to Jay winning due to how hot, new, and fresh he was, and explained by Michael Hayes, who brought that up. It's always hot, new, and fresh until we talk about LA9, in which case they forgot how he exists. So, the original plan card for WrestleMania 41 is revealed to be unreal. Cody and John for the Undisputed title, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Gunther versus CM Punk, Rhea versus Bianca, Bad Bunny versus Dominic, the Wyatt Six versus the Judgment Day, Jay Cargill versus Nia Jax, Becky and Charlotte versus Asuka and Kyrie, Randy versus Kevin Owens, Drew McIntyre versus Braun Breaker with Stone Cold the Wrath, Rey Mysterio with Travis Scott, what? Versus Chad Gable, Jay versus Damian versus Sammy versus Sheamus versus Bronson versus Ludwig, IC title ladder match, LA Knight versus Jimmy versus Andrade versus Solo versus Santos versus Carmelo versus Shinsuke US title ladder match. This is actually way better than what we got, to be honest. I ain't gonna lie, it's better than what we... That's way better than what we had this year. So let's talk about some NBA here. The Kings are looking to move Devin Carter or Malik Monk before bringing in Russell Westbrook. Kendrick Perkins lists point guards he would take over Chris Paul time. Cares. Some people within the Heat's organization weren't sure if Marcus Smart was a clear upgrade over Terry Rozier. Anything's a clear upgrade over Terry Rozier, dude. Jonathan Kuminga, Josh Giddey, and Cam Thomas are all reportedly seeking over $30 million per season. Well, they're all stupid. Marcus Smart allegedly stole more than $250,000 from a Las Vegas casino. Idiot. Kyle Kuzma sets a number to number 0, switches number to number 0. That seems about right. Why would you spend $20 million on Quentin Grimes when you can get Gary Trent for a minimum? An anonymous executive on Quentin Grimes contract negotiations. Kendrick Perkins says Chris Paul is in the top 10 point guard of all time. JJ Redick wants Bronny James to stay the games of Davion Mitchell and TJ McConnell. Some pretty good advice. Right there, I thought. Let's talk about some NFL news here. Browns cornerback Martin Emerson is expected to have suffered a significant Achilles tear per the NFL Network. He will undergo an MRI to confirm, but it's expected to be a devastating injury. Man, this sucks. Freaking Browns can never catch a break. Ravens star tight end Isaiah Likely was carted to the locker room at the end of practice today, suffering an apparent lower leg injury. Trey Lance will start at QB for the Chargers in this week's Hall of Fame game. As if anybody's going to watch that. Top 5 NFC quarterbacks according to ESPN's Mike Tannenbaum, Jordan Love, Jaden Daniels, Jared Goff, Jalen Hurts, and Baker Mayfield. Horrible analyst. Stop. Jordan Love's not number 1. Stop. Sheldon Rankins lost 50 pounds last year from a combination of the viral lungwort and shingles. Okay, who cares? Star pass rusher Michael Parsons is further away from a deal with the Cowboys now than he was in late March, according to Adam Schefter. It's going backwards, man. Terrence Marshall, who was having a great training camp, was kept off the field today with an injury. Luther Burden was kicked off the field and chewed out by Ben Johnson after issues at the LOS during team drills. Maybe this is just blown out of proportion. Maybe he was taken out of the rep, not thrown out of practice. I felt this is just blown out of proportion. Blake Neighbors went to the field house with a shoulder injury and is done for the day. So he suffered an injury. Bernhard Rayman, 4-year, $100 million extension for the Colts offensive tackle. Tyler Guyton, it was feared that he had torn his ACL during practice, but the good news was further tests revealed it's intact and he'll only miss 4 to 6 weeks, which is a huge break. Huge break. Cowboys been in contract negotiations with Deron Bland. They're playing everyone but Michael Parsons. The Titans are waiving former first-round pick Treylon Burks. The Buccaneers reworked Baker Mayfield's contract, give him $30 million in 2026. Cortland Sutton gets a 4-year, $92 million extension. Their deal is expected to be finalized soon, and he gets a big contract. Defensive lineman Christian Wilkins playfully went to kiss a teammate on the top of the head, and that player took offense to him doing that, so I guess that's why they released him. Terry McLaurin isn't expected to take a deal worth less than one the Steelers gave DK Metcalf, which was $33 million. The Bengals and Trey Hendrickson have the framework of a big deal in place, but are being held up by a big disagreement and guaranteed money. Steelers are releasing Cordell Patterson, And then there's that shooting where it killed a few people. I think it was like the NFL, near the NFL headquarters or something like that. But yeah, I'm not going to get too much on that, but that's all I'll say for this video. Peace.